Hey guys, here we got a 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee. If you guys saw our earlier video, we replaced the thermostat on this one due to the check engine light. I'm going to show you guys how to fill it up with coolant and how to get the air out of the cooling system on this one. First thing we want to do is we want to locate the radiator cap, which is over here on the left. This one push down, twist it. You got to twist it one more time, so you got to twist it once. And it feels like it's letting loose, but it's not. And then you got to push it down and twist it one more time to get the cap completely off. So we'll leave that guy to the side. And then this is the kit that I use to get the air out of the cooling system. You guys can look on Amazon or online. It's called a spill-proof funnel kit. And we got this on there, and we got different attachments to it. They're nice because they're color-coded. This one, we're probably going to use this red one. What we want to do is we want to stick it in here. And then find the cap that fits. And when you guys tighten up the cap, make sure you try to wiggle this around. If it's wiggling, that means it's loose and it's going to leak. You probably got the wrong attachment in there. This one, found the right one. We'll get this guy in there. Make sure that's tight. And now for this particular vehicle, we want to make sure that we use this is the original antifreeze for it, AC Delco Dex Cool. Make sure you guys get something that's approved for a Dex Cool. Otherwise, you might have issues with the system. So we'll get this guy in here. And you can see it's like orange. And that's the Dex Cool color. So if yours is green, it means it's not Dex Cool. There might be approved for it. It might still work. Some of the universal stuff is approved for it as well. So we want to fill this up enough to where it's like a quarter of the way. And we'll just wait until it stops bubbling. And on this particular vehicle, we're going to have to let it run, and we're going to have to take out the air out of the thermostat. There's a bleeder screw on the thermostat. But we want to make sure that we stop bubbling first so we know we got enough coolant in the system. So if you guys got a Grand Cherokee, this new body style, most likely you guys will have to do your thermostat at one point. I would say we probably do about one of these every week or two that comes in here with the check engine light for the thermostat. They're getting real popular. All right, let's add a little more in there. Alright, so now we're just getting little bubbles here and there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go inside the car and we're going to start it. So in order to get all the air out of the cooling system, what you guys want to do is you got to get the car running. And you want to go over here. You want to make sure you guys turn off your AC. And want to put the heat all the way on high and make sure you guys do it on both sides, because the heater core, that's the highest point of the car, and when we got the heat up on high, it opens up the lines for the heater core that the coolant passes through, and we might want to make sure that we get all the air out of the heater core as well. So we got the heat on high, and you guys can turn off your AC if your AC is on. We don't have to blow it on full blast. And then what we'll do is we'll go back to the outside. And Now we just gotta wait for it to warm up. So the thermostat opens up, and that's how we can fully get all the air out of the system. We're gonna take this cover off over here so we can get to the bleeder screw on the thermostat too. That's your thermostat right there. And if you look in the back here, there's that bleeder screw. So that's what we got to open up in order to completely get all the air out of the system. So we'll let this sit for a little bit until it reaches operating temperature. Okay, so after you guys let the car sit and idle for a little bit, the way you know the car is fully bleeded with air out of the cooling system is one, make sure we don't got no bubbles coming out of here. Two, we gotta make sure we don't get no more air coming out of that bleeder screw over here. And we're gonna open it up a little bit and see if we get a steady stream of coolant coming out. Easier to just box it in there. We're going to look around. Yeah, you see that? We got some coolant out of there. Be careful, don't let the dust spray on the face. It's coolant in the face over here. A little more else. That looks like we got a pretty steady stream coming out of there. Go ahead and close that up. Now what we want to do, we got to check all our bases, make sure we have absolutely no air in there. And that's our gauge right there for the coolant. After it's fully warmed up, this is where your temperature gauge should be on your Jeep. So you can see it's all the way in the middle. What we want to do now is we want to make sure we get heat coming out of the vents. If we have cold air coming out of the vents and we got the heat on high, that means that our coolant hasn't circulated all the way through and we still got air bubbles inside of the system. What you can do is, if you're having a hard time getting heat out of there, rev the engine up to around 2,000 RPMs and just keep it there for like 30 seconds. And while you're doing that, make sure that your coolant doesn't overflow in the front then. You can see it a little bit. I got that engine cover in the way. But yeah, keep the throttle on 2,000 RPMs and just feel for heat. Alright, right now we got real good heat coming out of there. So after we can feel the heat coming out, we can let go of the throttle. And what we want to do now is we want to go back to the engine area and check our coolant, make sure that we don't got no bubbles. We don't have no bubbles coming out of here. That means we don't have any air in the system. So what we can do now is we can shut it off and we can let it sit for a little bit and it'll suck some of this coolant back into the radiator, and then take this funnel out and put your radiator cap on and you guys are all good to go.